Yo,
Hello, hello. How's it
we
going?
made it.
We made it.
What's up? How you doing?
Very good. And how's everybody doing in the chat? I'm seeing some activity. Some
See some
hello.
familiar faces. So first of all, welcome to anyone that is here from Build V1, which was had a different title actually at that point. 100 Builders. Build V2. Good to have you back.
Very, very good to have everybody back and to have the newcomers here too. Um, Say hi, everybody if you've never been a part of Build before, we're very happy to have you. Cool. So I think, Joey, let's first introduce ourselves to everybody. I'm Rafa. I'm one of the Backdrop co-founders. The other one is Joey right here. You might have read our names and seen our emails or contacts before. And yeah, it's good for you to put a face to the name. And we'll be your hosts for Backdrop Build. So we have a lot to go through and a lot to tell you about the program, and you'll be hearing a lot from us. We enjoy. Enjoy. You can,
Yeah, I
say hi.
mean, I'm the other head of the two-headed serpent here. So I'm the other backdrop co-founder. Fun facts about me and Rafa is that in California and Rafa's actually in Germany. So I think between the two of us, we cover almost all time zones. So you can probably get help on the program pretty much whenever. So maybe I shouldn't tell you this because it's setting us up for being online all the time. But we cover a
Let
wide
us
spectrum.
sleep. Let us sleep a little bit at least. Yeah, but I mean, I think you've started already to do this in the chat, but it would be pretty cool. So if you can drop your you know residency country there, because it's just always cool to see that some crazy people in some weird places. I think the last time around, the only continent we didn't have was Antarctica. Is Antarctica a
Yeah.
continent? I think
If you
so.
know any builders in Antarctica, hit us up because we're still looking to make inroads there.
Exactly. We're looking for Antarctica builders, but good to see India. Lots of people from India, Hong Kong, Europe, a lot of US as well. SF. Welcome, everybody. Africa, too. Very nice. All right, let's get going. We got a lot to go through today, and
Let's do
this
it.
is going to be exciting. Let's get started. Yeah. So yeah, we always have this slide in the beginning, and we talk a lot about this. You can see in our Twitter, we put like big builder energy, and we talk a lot about builder energy, and this is who we are, Joey, right?
This is our thing. Yeah, it's a meme, but it's also pretty much every decision we make about how to design this program and how do we work with everyone is just big builder energy. So if you see anything that's not big builder energy, let us know and we'll fix it. That's what we're here to do.
Exactly. And I think what it means in a nutshell is just that, there's a bunch of other things you see out there that are just, full of fluff, and they're focused on things that are not just, building and doing the thing we love to do, which is just, build stuff. And this is very low builder energy. And the way we do it is, just focus as much as possible on the things we love to do. And that is, building cool shit and just like innovating, using new tech, all that kind of good stuff. And this is for us what big builder energy is. And it is quite big indeed this time around. So giving you some numbers here, right? Records across the board.
Definitely our biggest program yet in more ways than one. So pretty
Correct.
sweet.
Yeah, some numbers there for you. This time around, we have more than 1,000 builders joining the program. Obviously, they're not all here right now. There's people all over the world and in 80 different countries, different time zones. A lot of people will watch this video also later, and so it's going to be it's going to take a while for us to get to know everybody and for you to get to know each other, but it is quite a lot of people, and it's definitely our biggest program by a long shot. I think the most important part of like having that many people is to get a feeling that you're in good company. So there's a lot of builders, there's a lot of people building in a lot of different, areas, different types of projects, different technologies. And, we advise and recommend that you look around and find your crew and find the people you want to find in the program. And I think, from our part, I think we just want to let you know that you're also in good company. Right, Joey? I think we're good company, right? I think.
I think so. I mean, that's what my mom says. I think it's true. But yeah, it's a pretty amazing crew of people in this program. Like Rafa said, it's going to take a while for you to get a sense, and obviously we want to keep you focused on building. But take up and look around every once in a while, because there's definitely a pretty amazing crowd.
Exactly. Yeah, and someone's laughing about your vacuum cleaner in the background, Joey. And yeah, I mean, he lives in a home that has vacuum cleaners. It's
This
good.
is what happens when you work from home.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. But yeah, so just a little note that we are Backdrop. So I think we are a pretty young company, startup based in the United States. Although like I'm in Germany, but the company is American, and I think we've been already for like 2 years working with different types, different things, different products, different types of ways of helping builders and supporting builders, especially those building new things with new technology. So that's kind of like our love and passion is the messy new thing. It's not so much like the just building the good old boring stuff. And this is our company. We got it founded to do exactly what we're doing today, and this is what we love to do, and we're here to help. I think this is the main message from us as Backdrop. I think you guys will be doing all the hard work. Obviously, like it's a lot harder to build than it is to do this kickoff video or like to help you out when you need anything. But we just want you to know that we're here to help.
Yeah, and one thing to say is that we're builders as well, and we've built basically this whole program for you. You'll see everything, that all the ways to interact and profiles and everything. It's all built by us, and we are also we love to to make improvements, to ship updates. So treat this program itself as a build and something that is a work in progress. So we love feedback. We love working with you on that. If you have ideas, if you want to open a pull request on build, let us know, and we love that.
Exactly. And you see our email in there. Like, I think that you could contact us directly, but easier for us if you just shoot an email to community@backdropbuild.com if you need anything. That's the support email we have, and that's how we organize all of the requests that you might have. Just whenever you need, whenever there's a question, just shoot an email. You're now part of the community of Backdrop Build, and we're happy to have you, and we're happy to help you. Very cool. So of course, it's not just Joey and myself. We do have a bunch of other people that help us, to get this done and to be here and be able to do that work, helping you. And this is, it is really literally a village behind us and behind what we do. But just a quick shout out to our friends who are also friends of builders. So they support Backdrop. Some very interesting, amazing people in each one of these. And there are like a lot of other investors and people behind us that are not listed here, but just a typical shout out to them.
Yeah, we'll find ways to get them involved throughout the program as well, and we'll talk about all of our partners as well later on in the presentation.
Exactly. Cool.
Let's get into the weeds. Let's get to the good stuff.
Yeah, let's talk about build. So, do you want to?
Yeah. I mean, let's talk about the last program. So this is our third roundabout. Hopefully we have some things dialed in now. I'm pretty sure we do. Last time we've in the last two programs we've had about 600 builders. We've launched about 170 projects, and we've distributed over $100,000 in grants, cash and credits to builders, which we love doing. We love getting money into the hands of builders to keep going. And we'll talk about how that works in the future. But this is hopefully obvious, but one of the amazing things about Build is that it gets better as it gets bigger. We're able to do more. We're able to get more partners involved. We're able to kind of connect those dots better. And so it's amazing that we've been able to do this in the last 2 programs, and we're pretty pumped about what we can do with you all in this program now that it's even bigger.
Exactly. And I think this question came up a lot, and I'll try to take a stab at it, and you jump in, Joey. And we like to say this is not a typical accelerator or a hackathon. I think those are the two that get, said a lot by people to us. It's just like, oh, is this an accelerator? Is this a hackathon? And yeah, it's a little bit of both, and it's also like not that exactly. So I think that the main thing for us to say here about Build is that we are not like standing in the way of what you're doing, and we're not going to be, hand holding anyone, to build the right thing, or like giving you the, secret magic sauce for you to finally unlock your next 1,000 users or something like that. We're also like not going to do like, any sort of kind of like mentorship in this program, or like there is no like, we don't have a way to do this through this program. We do have some other ways to support you guys and to support like, whatever you're building. And this is where I think we find Build to be very differentiated. So we have our systems, and we have, the network that we have behind Build that is going to be, doing that work mostly to get support to you all. And I think just one last note, and maybe I forgot something, but one last note on the hackathon side, we don't see Build as a competition. So I think we do want to make that note, because a lot of people come with this idea that this is a competition, or like, I need to be better than everybody else. This is not about that. It's about, building together and building something you're very excited about building. And that's the main reason why we're all here. And did I forget something?
No, I think that's it. I mean, I think, we like to think of we're our own special snowflake, of course, like all good builders. There are definitely elements of hackathons and accelerators, and we've kind of mashed them up into something that we think is really great for builders. And, you'll be the ones to tell us if we got it right. So.
Correct. Yeah. And I think that, the most important thing we like to say is that what you get out of this program depends on you, right? I mean, it is, like we said, we're not going to handhold. We're not going to be here just like getting in the way. You're going to be doing your thing and building your thing. And this is, on you to get to the end.
And we've learned this from builders as well. We know that, you really just need to focus and ship your thing. And we want to help you do that. But it's a lot of it, we try to stay out of your way. I think that's a big, point that you'll see in the program. We try to just keep you focused on what matters.
Correct. Yeah. And like we said, our goal is that we build and launch some ideas together in these next 4 weeks. We're very excited about that. And yeah, hundreds of cool projects less than 4 weeks away. Let's keep on going, and let's make it happen. This is one last note. So others can help you get through the problems and the hurdles that you have while building, but only you can make it happen. So we like to say this because, there's nobody going there and building for you, and this is about you and your project. So, make it happen. It's a good thing, and we're excited to see what you build. Right? Okay. So our vibe. This is another.
Let's talk about the vibe.
Another interesting point, because I think it is very different here as well. So what's our vibe here on Build? The first thing to say is that we think Build is for all builders, right? So there's no sense here that we are trying to exclude people from participating, either because you're more junior, or because whatever country you come from, or whatever like university you studied, or whatever experience you have in your life. If you love to build, and if you can build, and if you're excited about a project, this is for you. So this is very important for us. The difference is that not everyone is going to get to say they completed it. It is maybe, there's a thousand of you here today, but maybe, just a fraction of you will get to the end, because building is hard. Building is complicated. You need a lot of energy. You need a lot of time. You need to solve the problems you find along the way. So again, like, it's for all builders, but not all builders are going to get to the end of the program. Right? We just mentioned this before. This isn't a competition. The vibe here is not to compete. Like, you're not going to be looking around and saying like, oh, am I the best project, in my area here? we really love when people collaborate, support each other. If you see someone building something cool that you have some experience with, great, like, just help them out, and vice versa. So this is really, and it does happen in the program, and we love when it does happen. It's just like, this idea that we're all here building cool stuff, and I think we all have our own, like, perspectives and our own, like, strengths that we can actually use to help each other throughout these 4 weeks coming up right now.
Yeah. And we'll talk about grants, I think, in a little more detail at the end. But it's amazing that we are able to connect all of you with some amazing partners. And this program specifically, we have incredible partners that are here. They're going to be watching out for you. They have grants for you. Those things are bonuses. Like, really, the goal is to build and launch your thing, and that is where you will get most of the benefit, is from doing that, no matter what that means for you. And the rest of it is just kind of icing on the cake that we do to kind of like make that process even better for you. But that's, of course, it's not like the main goal of the program.
Correct. This is very important for us.
This is a big one.
Big one. Like, it's fine. I think, some people can approach this differently, but we do not, like, absolutely tolerate jerks in the program. Because we believe that if you're really a builder, you know how much it takes to build, you'll be respectful, you respect other people. And again, we have, like, absolutely no, like, there's no, like, way around this. Basically, if you're being a jerk, we're going to remove you from the program. It is very important that we respect each other, and that you be kind and thoughtful, and let's make sure that everybody here can have a good time. Again, this feels like we don't need to say it, but just to say it one time, and then make sure
we need all of you all to be our eyes and ears. Build is huge, right? I mean, there's thousands of people in this program. It gets, like I said, it gets better as it gets bigger, but so that means we need your help to just make sure that it's a great experience, that people are super nice and helping each other out and all those kinds of things. And if you see something that goes wrong, let us know. And we act very quickly. So I mean, this doesn't almost never happens, but we just have to say it because it is important that we make this a safe space for building and launching things. And it's a difficult process, right? We've all, I think, probably been through it. So we want everyone to just respect that work.
Exactly. Report it immediately. The email is community@backdropbuild.com. The last thing we'll say about our vibe is that if this program isn't for you, that's totally fine. We know it's not going to work for everybody. We know some people prefer a different, style, with more of certain things that we don't provide, or like it just doesn't fit, whatever you're looking for, and that's totally fine. Again, if you're not happy, or we would love to hear about your feedback. But again, this is it's your free choice what you do, and we'll be fine if you decide to leave. No problem. All right, so let's dive into the program. Let's get a bit more like specific for a minute. And I think that there are like 4 very important things about the program. That's it. There's nothing more, and we'll go through them in sequence. The number 1 thing you need to do is you need to get set up. We'll talk about what that means exactly. Number 2 is obvious. Keep shipping through the program. This is the goal. This is the idea. You're going to be building and shipping your thing. And number 3, send updates. We're going to talk about updates in general, like what do they mean and how to do them, and what are the rules around them. And number 4, at the end of the program, launch. And we'll talk about what does it mean to launch, because that word is also not always super clear, and we have a specific interpretation of what the launch means for build. That's all you need to do, right? I mean, there's nothing else. There's no other like assignment. There are no events, no workshops or anything you need to go to. It's it's all about that. You're gonna get set up first. You're gonna ship. You're going to I already forgot what was number 3. You're gonna send your updates, and you're gonna launch at the end. It's been a long weekend. That's all you need to do. All right, let's look through each one of those, and keep in mind that each week you're going to have to be feeling like you're making a big leap forward, right? Of course, you're not going to be able to ship all the time. But again, the idea is like, let's make a lot of forward progress every week. And then at the end, you're going to be very happy with the, the feeling that you get when you launch, when you finally put something out there. Cool. All right. So the setup, right? What's the setup? Well, when we say setup, all we mean is that you need to make sure that your project on build has as much data as possible, right? So your data is complete. Also for your profile, by the way. And it has a specific, like one specific thing that we really, really, really ask you to do, which is to make sure you're filling out your project's tech, partners, and tags data. That is when you log into build, into your project. There is a tab. We have a screenshot, I think, about that.
Yeah, it's coming up later in the presentation. We'll go over this again.
We'll talk about it again, but the idea is that make sure you're setting up all the data there, because that data is what helps us to keep you in contact, in touch with the opportunities that we have in the program. Yeah. And specifically, you should mark, like, add any of the partners and partner tech that you're interested in or you're building with. So we have, like Joey mentioned before, we have, I think, more than 20 partners in the program. If you are interested, if whatever you're building, could you use that technology, or you are already using that technology to build, make sure you add them there, because that's going to help us to connect you with their grants and with their, like, potential opportunities down the line. Yeah. So make sure you do that. Don't forget. And if you do that, you're set up correctly, and then we'll be able to connect you to opportunities and grants. And on top of that, it will make it easier for other people within the program, so other builders, to also find you and your project, right? Like, you'll also have some moments to experiment and to just check out the product. And in there, you're going to be able to, for example, search for projects that are building with, I don't know, Godot, if you're building games, or they're building with OpenCV or whatever that is. And that helps us and you to connect the dots and to make sure that you get as much, like, the best experience possible within the program, right?
Yeah, and this is kind of like a big point here, is like, we want you to basically build, focus on building, and you kind of like connect us with the right information, and we will help pipe some opportunities your way, right? So that's the vibe. It's really important that you get us that information. Otherwise, it's hard for us to make those opportunities happen for you. So get that setup done, ship, and then we will be able to take care of a lot of the rest of it.
Correct. Yeah, so number 2, keep shipping. I mean, this one is one slide, it's done. Like, nothing gets built if you don't build it. Keep shipping, keep doing it.
It's one slide, but it's like probably the biggest piece of the program, right? It's like the rest of what we're talking about is little things. This is where you spend most of your time.
Correct. So just make sure you keep shipping and keep going. And number 3, this is slightly more complicated, but it's about sending updates. So just to be clear, updates are very lightweight. They are like 1 to 2 paragraphs about what you shipped or what you're planning to ship. Whatever happened in your project that feels like insightful, you can put that out as an update. It's really just like to keep that momentum going. And there are some like specifics about updates that you can also check later in our FAQ, or you can just like, you'll see through the product as you use it, how it works. But basically, there are some specific details that we want to already mention right now. So one of them is that you need to send at least 1 update per week as you're building. So that's the very least. We do encourage you to send that more often. So every day, for example, is totally possible and totally a good behavior or a good way to do it. So just make sure you're always sending your updates. There are a few reasons why we need updates. The first one is, to keep everyone accountable. The second one is that we can ensure that actually you are participating in the program, you are making progress. And I think the other one is that you might, through that process of sending updates, you might, interact with people within the program better as well, because people, if they see what you're doing, it's just like more likely they're gonna be able to help or be able to participate in any way, right? So if you don't send an update in a week, what happens is that your build gets frozen automatically. A frozen build means that you're not going to be completing the program if your build is frozen, and you're not going to be eligible for grants if your build is frozen, because it's just in this stage that it's not actually a part of the program, and it's not going to be visible as well to other people. So again, just make sure you're posting your updates. And if your build gets frozen, to unfreeze it, all you need to do is submit an update, right? It's that easy. It's all automatic. If you don't do that and you leave it frozen, it will be permanently removed from the program, right? So there's two ways to look at this thing. One is just that, sad that your build is frozen and it's been removed. The other one is just if you don't want to be a part of the program anymore, for some reason you changed your mind or your life situation has changed, that's okay. Your build is going to be automatically removed from the program if you don't do anything with that, with those updates. Just FYI. Cool. We need, and we would love to say this because we see this happening a lot. Do not overthink updates. They are very lightweight, so don't try to just write a Bible about the whole thing, or something that's very long and complicated, because people are not going to understand enough to kind of know the nitty-gritty details of what you're talking about. Again, keep it light, keep it to the point. Don't spend an hour writing updates. It's more like it should be 5 minutes and you're done. Cool.
Just answering a question. All this stuff is in the FAQs, by the way. I know we're going fast, but if it's frozen for 7 days, it's removed. So basically, that would be 14 days since you last submitted an update. But again, you can check all this out in the FAQs. Let's talk about launch. Launch is obviously what we're all here to do. So this is week 4, and what do we mean by launch? So what we do not mean is that it needs to be a big bang launch. There will be some people that launch and go viral and whatever. We've seen this in past programs, but it is that is just one thing. The most important thing is that you launch something and that you get it out there into the world, into the hands of real people. We don't mean you need to go viral on TikTok. Again, if that's your thing, if you want to spend the 4 weeks figuring out how to go viral on TikTok, let us know how to do it. We can all sort of create a company together. But this is not a requirement at all. It is also definitely not about just getting likes and follows. A lot of these things, I think we know as builders, they feel really good in the moment. It feels good to get that validation, to have something go viral or have a bunch of likes. But building is a process that takes a long time, and it's typically a slow burn of building momentum over and over and over again. And so what we want to make sure that everyone does in the program is get one step forward from where you are now. And that means launching something, getting it into the hands of the real people. And so in order to do that, we need 2 things from you. So we need a short demo video. So we'll walk you through a little bit how this works when we get closer. Very short, 3 minutes, really just showing what you've built. So obviously it's going to depend on exactly what it is that you've built, how this will work. But generally speaking, you just talking through what you did over these 4 weeks. And this part is really important, some way for people to try it out. If you're building an open source library, great. Then, people can use it. They can see it. They can interact with the code. If it's a game, people can test it out. What we mean specifically is that we want to push people to not just create, a landing page that says coming soon, or a marketing page that talks about what you're building. Those things are useful, but there is something magic that happens when you launch a product and you get it out there and real people use it and they give you feedback. And that is the core of what we want every single person in the program to do. That's what we kind of define as, complete. So that's kind of why we build the demos in this way.
Correct.
Yeah, so it's about finding the people who really care. This is also more art than science in a way. It's way better to find 2 or 3 people that are obsessed with the same thing that you're obsessed with than 100 people or 1,000 people that think it's interesting and they're going to move on a day later. So that's kind of that's what really important. And mark your calendars, March 20th. So that's less than 4 weeks from today. We'll all be pushing launch together, pushing the big red button. And that is also an amazing feeling. Like we've done it before, so I can say with absolute confidence, it feels incredible to launch something in this huge group, and we will all celebrate. We will push it out. We'll tweet about it. Like that will create that energy, at the end of the program. So that's kind of, look forward to that. It is pretty cool.
Yeah, I'll just make one note here because this has already been confusing in the past. Launch day, the day that you need to actually push the button and send your demo videos and so on, is 2 days before the end of the program. We need that gap between Wednesday and Friday when the program ends to run all the process we need to run with those launches and to get to the finalists. We'll talk more about that. Just make sure to remember, it's not Friday when the program ends, it's Wednesday 2 days before that. That's the deadline. And you see that also even when you log in. There is a timeline on top of the builds area, and you're gonna see, and there's a little like launch day marked in there. So just make sure you keep that in mind.
Yeah. And if you do that, if you go through the program, if you ship your updates, you don't get frozen for too long, you ship your launch, then you did it. You completed the program, you completed Build V3. We will be very proud of you. We're proud of all of ourselves, and it'll be great. But that's obviously, and that's the big benefit. I think that's the main thing. Of course, it also means that, you'll be completed and you'll be able to unlock other opportunities as well that happen for people, who complete the program. And I'll talk a little bit about that now. But again, I think everything we've covered so far, and I know that's been a lot of information. We're getting closer to the end now. But that's basically how the program works. It is, if you have any questions, there's an FAQ. We're around all the time. There's, I don't actually know the exact number, but there's a bunch of people who have been in these programs before that are back, so they can help you out. So don't get lost, but we're here to help. Yeah, so let's talk about grants. We know that, grants are really important in various ways to keep building. We want to find great builds, great builders, and help them continue to go, help them use Build to be a launching pad to, something that comes next, whether that's, starting a startup or finding a new job, finding a new collaborator, or just launching a cool side project. Like there's so many different things that you can come into this program wanting to do, reasons why you'd want to continue shipping afterwards, and we want to help you do that. We have done a pretty good job so far, we think. We've been able to distribute a bunch of grants to people in these programs, and we love that. That's definitely something that gets us out of bed. The more great builds we launch together, the more grants that we give out. So this is important. You'll see that all of our partners that we work with have different ways they want to support builders, different kinds of grants, different things that they're looking for. So the more projects that we build, the more grants that our partners will, or more great projects that we build, the more grants that our partners will give out. So we don't know the exact number it will be. I think we have more than twice as many partners and grants available in V3 than we've had in any other program. So we are very excited to give out a bunch of grants. We need your help to do that. This will only happen if we all go out and launch some amazing stuff together. So, but the cards are on the table, so to speak. We have just a huge number of amazing partners this program. I'm super excited. I think there's a lot of incredible things that these partners enable with their tech, and it's all evolving super fast, of course. So pretty exciting stuff. Just to reiterate one more time, to be eligible for grants, you need to complete the program. So it's not it's fairly straightforward how to do that. Ship updates, ship the launch. In order to do that, that's what you need to do to be eligible for the grants. We will also select 50 finalists. So that's also a cool process. We will, among all the builds, we will select 50 finalists, and that there's a kind of specific process that happens for those finalists. So we create an awesome panel of basically experts and cool builders in a bunch of different domains. So all the different kind of areas that the program is working in: open source, AI, crypto, etc., gaming. And we bring all those people together to review all these 50 finalists. And those finalists will go through the projects and give you and like review them, give feedback. And this is also, of course, value to you independent of anything else. So you get some great feedback from, people that know what they're talking about, that can help you out. Maybe they, find it really interesting. Maybe they want to work with you on it. All sorts of possibilities are there, right? That's why we do it. So that's for all the 50 finalists. So I think that's another thing to aim for, is just like being one of those 50 projects. I think it really helps be part of this process. And we also send that information, so all the finalists, all the feedback from all the panelists, over to our partners, which is how they decide on their grants. And again, Rafa mentioned this before. Please don't forget to set up your build with partners that you're building with, because all of these partners, all these 20 plus partners, we send them over that information about who's interested in our tech, who's building with their tech, what they build. So if you don't have that set up correctly, that data will not flow correctly, and the partners will miss you. So again, we want to make this really easy for you. All you need to do, set it up. If you're using a partner, make sure you have it tagged there, and then you can just do your thing, build, send the updates. You don't have to worry about anything else. We'll take care of it for you, but we need you to do this one step so that we can do that. I think you'll see this when you go and set up your build. If you haven't already, you have this tab here. It says tech. You have partners there, and you can go out and read each of the partner, and you can mark yourself interested or building on those partners, and just keep this updated as you go, right? So every few days or week or whatever, just make sure that if you ended up using some tech, put it in there. And do it for the tags as well. If they're, even if we don't work with a partner yet, or you have some tag, it's really useful. We use it for a bunch of stuff. So definitely spend some time doing that. And please read all the details about grants and partners on that page too. I can't possibly cover them all. Actually, in previous versions of Build, we went through them all individually. Now we have just way too many partners and grants, which is a good problem to have, except for it means that you need to go and read those things yourself. So go through, there's a bunch of information. There's, lots of details on the grants and what they're looking for, how they work. There's also a ton of free credits as well. So for all of these partners, there's ways to go out and claim credits to get started. So go to that page, spend a little bit of time as you get set up, just to, get a sense of what's out there, and then you can kind of get back to building. Like I said, partners are going to keep an eye on projects that are interested in their tech. There's obviously, a number of ways that they can support you outside of grants. These partners that we're working with are amazing. They are often leading spaces that they're in. They are excited to find great builders and help them out and give them feedback and all those kinds of things. So, the grants that they give at the end are just one way they can support you. They're here to support in, kind of overall, and just help get more, great things built. And like I said, there's also free credits from many of these partners to get started. So, if you make sure you get those, and that we have instructions for all of these on how to do that. And the last thing I think on the partners is that there are requests for projects from a lot of these partners. You can use those in two ways. One is that if you just, need some inspiration, need some ideas for what to build, check those out, because a lot of times, the team of people in these partner organizations spend a bunch of time thinking through what they think are the opportunities in these different spaces that we're in. That's really, cool information, because these are a lot of times the experts, and they have a pretty, big vantage point on all the, new projects that are getting built. And the other is that, of course, if they have grants and they're looking to support specific projects, those things are often connected, right? So they say, hey, we're looking for these kinds of projects, and those are the kinds of projects that they're going to want to give grants to as well. So it's a good idea to just have an idea about, those RFPs if you have the time to take a look through. So that's partner info. I know, again, it's a lot. All of this stuff is coming to your inbox afterwards. All of it's in the FAQs, and we're around if you need any help.
Correct.
All right.
Very good. Yeah. Our partners are really cool people, so you'll enjoy that a lot. Yeah, very cool. All right, so maybe we can continue and get to the final stretch here. So finding your way around the program, right? So again, we can't possibly cover every question, everything that going through your heads right now. We're happy to answer a lot of those questions either via email or in Discord. We'll talk about Discord in a minute. But yeah, we'll just do our best here to make sure that you can find your way around the program. The first thing to say is that everything important will be sent to you by email. So make sure you check emails from us, check spam and so on, because it is important. Everything we're going to send by email. Make sure to bookmark our home page, so backdropbuild.com, the same one that you have used to create your application, to confirm your participation. It's still there, and that's where basically the whole program is going to happen. Again, if you need support from us, if you have any questions, you find any bugs in the product, or you just find something that's not working fine in the program for you, have some feedback, or you just want to share something, or report anything, community@backdropbuild.com. This is where you should go for that support. We have this thing that we say that we find building a lot better than chit-chatting. It's really just that we want you to be focusing most of your time on getting your project built. So this is why we're saying this as well, that we're not like pushing you to be engaging with chats and things like this, and being living in a chat application throughout the program, because that gets in the way of you shipping what you need to ship. However, we know that it's very important and very valuable to have support from other people, to interact with other people, to meet like-minded people, and we really want to support that, and we think it's cool. So if you are if you can't build anymore, or if you've just built everything that you could and you want to take a break, or if you just need some help, you can also connect with other people, other builders in Discord. This is where the whole backdrop build community lives, and that's where you're going to be searching for other people and suggesting collaborations and asking questions about AI, about some dev tooling and so on and so forth. Yeah. So to get into Discord, you just go to this URL there, backdropbuild.com/Discord. This is going to redirect you to the Discord server that we have. In there, you're going to do some quick verification and then get going. And again, feel free to just interact with each other there. Be kind, be nice. Do not spam. Try to be helpful, and you'll have a good time in Discord too.
Yeah. And we've talked about this in previous programs, but we always, do this little thing on Twitter. It's pretty fun. It's pretty lightweight, but if just tag Backdrop Build and, with Backdrop, and, we will retweet a bunch of those things. You can go to backdropbuild.com/X, and then you can find, if you want to just scroll through a lot of stuff. So, again, it's optional. If your vibe is not shipping an update and posting about it online, totally cool. We're not going to force you to do that. Of course, it can be useful to kind of build in public and maybe get some people interested in what you're doing. And we want to help you do that and help others find you. So we have this, if that's kind of something that's interesting for you.
Correct. Yeah, that's always fun to see people. It's another way as well to meet people, I think. Serendipity. It's such a strange word. But yeah, cool. Twitter is cool. All right, so with all that said, this is just how you're going to find your way in the program. The first week starts now, so today is the first day. Just some general recap. Get your build locked in and set up properly. Get busy shipping. Send updates. Keep an eye out for emails. And yeah, be kind and have fun while building. This is the recipe.
That's the secret.
That's pretty much what we're doing here. And yeah, I don't know, Joey, do you have anything else to say? I'm very, feeling very grateful and privileged that, to watch so many cool projects and builders just do their thing. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I think we started running these kinds of programs very differently, more than a year ago, probably. I mean, 10 builders at a time. So it gets us super pumped up to just see everyone here and to see this process get better and better, and for us to continue to improve how we support you all. So it gives us a lot of our own builder energy to have you here. So really thank you for that.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. It really is, and we love to see it. All right, we got 4 weeks. It's not a lot of time. It starts now. We're there to help you, and yeah, thank you very much. let's do it. One last note before we go. I've seen some questions in the chat, some different support type questions. Make sure to send them to that email address. We'll get back to you now, like from now until the end of the day, just to try to clarify as much as possible so that you feel comfortable and you feel like you're
and read the FAQs.
And read the FAQs, and just make sure that you get familiar with the product and log in and try out stuff. And we're here to help. Really, we just want to see you build cool stuff, and if there's anything we can do to help, we'll do it. Thank you very much for being here.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's one last question. Just curious if you're both programmers. Yes, like I personally built a lot of the app that you're using. So if something breaks, if you find any bugs, it's my fault. So I'm just apologizing.
Yeah, my programming skills are really bad, so don't ask me to fix anything. I'll just send it to Rafa. But at one point or another, I have built things as well.
Yeah, we're builders first, and then we organize this second. So we do understand the pain and the pleasure of what you guys are going to go through in these 4 weeks. We're looking forward to it. Exactly. You can blame me. Just say, Rafa, you fucked it up, and then just send an email. We'll get on it and we'll fix it.
Exactly.
Very cool. Thanks, everybody. Very happy to see you.
All right. Happy building.
See you around. Ciao, ciao.